Let's start with the latest update on the war in Iran, which is that there is no update. It's still happening, you know? I'm starting to get worried about my river cruise this summer up the Strait of Hormuz. Man, I booked a balcony room, too. But don't worry, because Donald Trump is doing everything he can to wrap it up.
We're having talks with him now, and we're not flying anymore with 18-hour flights every time we want to see a piece of paper. We're doing it telephonically, and it's very nice.
Telephonically? Damn, that's an impressive word, yo. Makes anyone with a phone sound like a wizard. I ordered large meat lovers telephonically. Now, to be clear, that is a word, but he didn't know that. He talks the way I play Scrabble, you know? Just like, oh, wow, I was just throwing letters together. How many points is that? That was from yesterday, during an event Trump did with the Artemis astronauts and the chief of NASA. And we all know Trump loves space, so he has the utmost respect for these professionals.
Sorry, are you considering relocating NASA's headquarters out of D.C. once the lease is up? States like Texas, Ohio, and Florida.
Well, the best man to tell you that is the man standing right over here. You heard that question? With those beautiful ears of yours? He's got great hearing, you know, he's got super hearing.
Trick of the trade, sir.
Wow. He's just standing there like, good one, sir. Haven't heard that since grade school, and I didn't think I'd hear it again, but I did. In my 40s. From the president. Trump just can't resist being a bully. He's sitting there like, hey, they say in space no one can hear you scream except for this guy, right? He can definitely hear it. Am I right? Am I right? And by the way, these astronauts do not look happy to be there. They're like, this is the most uncomfortable I've ever felt, and 2 weeks ago I was pooping in zero gravity. But let's move on, because while Trump was ear-shaming astronauts, the Supreme Court was busy at work.
This morning, the Supreme Court delivering a major blow to the landmark Voting Rights Act.
The court's conservative majority ruling 6-3 that Louisiana's current congressional map with 2 majority African-American districts is unconstitutional, saying lawmakers allowed race to play a part in government decision-making. Democrats blasting the ruling, arguing that other majority black districts are now vulnerable to being erased.
That's right. The Supreme Court saw that Louisiana had 2 whole black congressmen, and they were like, whoa, what is this, showtime at the Apollo? Let's dial this back. But now, thanks to the Supreme Court, black districts are going to get erased all across the South, which is horrible for civil rights, but pretty great for all the new civil rights movies we're going to be making, you know? So this is fantastic from, like, a Denzel-only perspective. And obviously, the Supreme Court didn't come right out and say that states can be racist. Justice Palpatine isn't that dumb, all right? He played it much smoother.
Justice Samuel Alito writing, race can only be taken into account when there's evidence that a state intentionally drew its districts to afford minority voters less opportunity because of their race.
That's crazy, all right? So just to be clear, for Alito, the map is not racist unless the guy drawing it finishes it and goes, man, I'm racist. Now, if you're watching this whole thing unfold and you're thinking to yourself, this seems pretty racist, Republicans have great news for you.
I think after 160 years after the Civil War, it's time that we didn't have a race-based reason for doing things.
In 2026 in the United States, the reasons to use race for line drawing deliberately that occurred to remedy discrimination in the South 50 years ago no longer exist in America.
The court said you have to have modern examples of how voters have been racially discriminated against. And fortunately, America has come a long way since the 1960s. It has, fortunately.
It's the end of pretending that this is a racist country.
Racism's over. Oh boy, I can finally use my real voice. What's up, dawg? I I just thought when racism would be over, we'd hear about it from like a civil rights leader or something. Not a guy who looks like a racist version of the dad from Modern Family. It almost feels like we're going in reverse because the people from the 60s in black and white TV were like, wow, this country is being pretty racist. We should pass some legislation. And the people crippling that legislation are from now in 4K. Just so we're all aware, newscasters who would do reports like, that Jackie Robinson is the best player in the league, believed in voting rights more than our representatives now. What these people don't get is that to the extent that there's less discrimination now, it's partly because we had the VRA. So this is like my uncle, who threw away his medication because he said his heart wasn't bothering him anymore. And to be fair, he did stop having heart problems because he's dead. And one of the most brain-breaking things about this ruling is it's literally taking power from black people in the South, and it was voted for by a black guy from the South. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas is black. He might not know it, but he is black. How could you, of all people, vote for this, Clarence? You were like an uncle to all of us. Uncle Clarence Thomas. Uncle Thomas for short. Uncle Tom for shorter. But look, we don't have to pretend here. At the end of the day, we all know that this decision was not about moving on from race. This is the Supreme Court majority handing a win to Republicans. I know that, you know that, and the Republicans definitely know that because their leader said it out loud.
Mr. President, I want to go back to the Supreme Court ruling on their Voting Rights Act. I know you said you haven't seen it.
When did it come out, just now?
No, it came out this morning, but basically very much narrows the Voting Rights Act.
Was it considered a win for who?
A win for Republicans.
I love it.
You could always count on Trump to get right to the point. Like, it's a win for Republicans. Did you guys hear that? I know this guy did.